Say it's about time for us to make a move. Gain some leverage in the design of those who think us fools. Like violent twisted tools, they point and shoot what we consume. We eat it up and chart a path and take it to the moon. That's how the world took a MAGA banner and made it racist. That's how black lives start to matter, but only certain cases. They sow dissension to take attention while nothing changes. But unified through each other's eyes, we can rearrange it. It may have been a mistake to grab a mic again. I'm finally facing my demons and feeling right again. No lie, embracing the truth about who I really am. Let's never let mediocrity rule our life again.
Dancer, sometimes referred to as the athletes of God. Dancers are artists who use movements to express meaning, tell stories, or execute choreography. Dance demands creativity, elite athleticism, as well as the vulnerability to make it all believable. Unlike many athletes, dancers perform with no helmet, no pads, only expression, and that sounds pretty freaking terrifying if you ask me. Today's guest embodies everything that definition represents. Brooke has built a remarkable career as a professional dancer, choreographer, educator, and mentor. She's earned recognition as an NAACP nominated choreographer while dedicating countless hours to developing the next generation of performers. She's also the founder of B Inspired D.A.N.C.E Foundation, where dance becomes more than entertainment, it becomes confidence, leadership, discipline, and opportunity. I'm happy to welcome Brooke Ivory to the show.
Hey!
Hey!
I like that introduction. Yeah.
Well, you're worth every second.
Oh, I love it. I'm so happy to be here.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm happy to have you here. This is a long time coming, and I mean that when I say that. You are one of my actual heroes. You're somebody that I've watched become who you are, and it's been a pleasure. If I say so myself.
Thank you.
I know that you grew up with dance. You've been doing this as long as I can remember knowing you.
Mm-hmm.
So what's it like growing up with dance from Jump Street? And I've got to ask this question: did you have a dance mom?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say yes, I had a dance mom. She wasn't an intense dance mom, but she was definitely a dance mom. She was backstage and everything. She wasn't the sewer. Everybody had a role. They had like the sewer, the person that fixed the costumes and did the thing. She was like the runner, make sure everything's. She was the let's keep everything together type
like
of dance
manager,
mom. Yeah, but she wasn't crazy like the ones you see on TV. It wasn't
so
that
you
level.
Buju or Cookie or what's the little girl's name?
I can't remember.
Honey Boo Boo.
Honey Boo Boo. She was not like Honey Boo Boo's mom. No. Thank God.
I picture that. I can picture manager. I see management material and like, hey, I don't do that, but you do that really well. You should be over there. Make sure that you're on time though, because if you're not, we're gonna have, I'm not gonna be mad, but there's gonna be a thing.
Yeah. Oh my God. She wasn't like that. She was more just behind the scenes, let me do my thing. Let me see how I could support. So she was like a positive dance mom, thankfully. But yeah, so I started dancing when I was 3, like officially dancing, taking classes, training, performing on stage. And it's been a journey. I mean, a lot of what I do is because of what I do now is because of my journey with dance through my life. I feel like dance, my mom put me in it to keep me busy, but then I think it became something that I was already naturally into. So fortunately, that was something that was like just aligned. But I think dance gave me like a community. It gave me a village of people when, like I just didn't really have that. I mean, I definitely had a village. My family was my village. But I think dance just gave me something like a path to follow, kind of kept me out of trouble. It disciplined me. It just kept me motivated. And so I think as I got older, I saw how that kind of really built into who I was. And then as I kept progressing with it going through to Denver School of the Arts, that was a whole different experience with dance, because that's where it got like really serious, and like this is like you're gonna respect the art, and like it
was not just about showing up.
Exactly.
It's like Pee Wee football is about just corralling children, and then all of a sudden you have to learn something.
Because then I started learning like modern dance, which is really, to me, and at the time it was just very weird and different and like interpretive, and I was like, what is this? Like, we're dancing to no music with trash bags and we're pretending like we're trees? What? Oh, okay, this is what we're doing. Okay.
Is that like we're interpretive?
Yes, so we had like bags. I remember we were in the park and we had to like pretend like we were branches and trees and stuff. And at the time I'm like, this is really weird. But now in hindsight I'm like, okay, because you have to kind of become the thing. tell the story and become something that so like that helped me.
And you
learn
gotta have
about
the guts
that.
to do that.
And you gotta have because you're out in the park looking
It's
crazy.
uncomfortable. I went to an improv thing once, and like the first thing they said is you're gonna stare at this person and just stare at them and make faces and do whatever and be uncomfortable because the rest of this, the whole night is gonna be weird.
That's exactly it.
And you just need to get cool with it being weird.
You have to accept it, say yes to it,
and roll.
Yeah. So that was that, and then also like with ballet is a very it's a strong discipline. Like there's rules, you have to respect the art, respect the teacher. Like you're not talking, you're wearing specific stuff. So that in and of itself taught me a lot of like discipline and to respect the art, respect what I'm doing. So, I did all that, went through high school, did the sports teams. Once I got to college, that was the first time I didn't make something. I tried out for the team at CSU when I was going there, and I didn't make it. And that was the first time I didn't make something, and I was like, this is weird. Like, I've always skipped levels in dance and all these things, and so that was the first time I was like, okay, like, let me go a different route. So I kind of stopped dancing in college. Actually, I was dancing. I was just in the clubs dancing. That's where I got my dancing in. So I was out the club every night getting it in.
You and all the rest of us.
Yep. And I was out, but that was back in times were good. Nobody was on their phones.
Right.
Everybody was really going out to have a good time and just dance. The music was crunk. So that was that. And then, so I graduated college, started going the corporate route. And then I soon realized, like, this isn't for me. I'm not passionate about this. Like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I just need to go with it, believe in myself. So
what was your corporate route?
I went to school. I graduated with a degree in apparel and merchandising because that was the only other thing other than dance. Marketing, fashion. It was more so fashion. I wanted to go into fashion and be like a buyer or something. But even that still, I was like, that's fun, but I always just wanted to do stuff like for me. Like I wanted to learn how to be a stylist and do this so I could style myself.
Just so you could.
I want to learn how to do makeup so I could do my own makeup. So all these things, it was like I always saw a bigger picture life for myself, and I knew dance and entertaining was going to be part of it. I didn't really know what it was going to look like. I just knew that in my heart that's what I was supposed to be doing. So eventually, I think I just decided I'm not getting any younger. Fortunately, I have a really good partner who was like, I see what you're doing here. I think you need to take it to the next level. So having him be very supportive of me and go to LA and pursue it was everything really. Because I don't know if I would have just upped by myself, and because nobody in the family leaves. Everybody's in Colorado and here doing the thing. So it was like I didn't really see anybody indirectly other than
the hero part of the story. For some of us that saw her just bounce.
Yeah, and
go for this thing.
Literally.
And was like, that's not what people do.
No, it's not. It's scary because I didn't have anybody that was already doing it. I mean, my dad was kind of doing it, but he was doing it locally, and I wanted to just do things on a bigger level. So I kind of just had to take the leap and figure it out, and it's been a journey from there. I mean, it's like from one journey to a next journey of figuring out, and it doesn't look like what I thought it would look like, and I've had to figure out what does it really mean to me, how does it really make me feel. So that's been the journey of kind of figuring out my path and how am I going to show up in the world and keep dance alive. So in a nutshell, now everything I do with dance is because that's why I do so much work with the kids, because I know what it gave me. And so I know there's so many kids out there that just don't even have the resources. So I'm really intentional about working with kids in underserved areas that don't have the resources, the money, the transportation, the quality instruction of people actually wanting to come into these areas and work with these kids. So because I've always believed that your circumstances don't determine your destiny. So no matter what you go through, what you're born into, like if you have a vision and a dream and a desire that's in your heart, it's there for a reason. But it takes work, it takes discipline, it takes courage, it takes bravery. You got to be a little fearless to do all these things and go after it. And you kind of just got to be like, you know what, F it, I'm just going to go for it.
And you took on Big Bad LA, and you're still here to tell the story.
I'm still here to tell the story 11 years later. LA will chew you up and spit you out if you're just there to just flail about. And, but I was very intentional. So, it didn't look like what I thought it was going to look like when I got there. I was going on auditions, and there was 300 people there. You would be there for 4 hours, and you're not getting the job. They already know who they're going to pick. This was just
formality.
And that didn't make me feel good. That was discouraging. I was like, I know I'm better than this. And, so that's when I kind of was like, all right, maybe this isn't for me at this point. Because I was in my later 20s when I moved to LA too. So I was a little bit past things that I thought I wanted to do. When I got there, I was like, I don't know that I want to do that anymore. So then I started going back into acting, which I did when I was younger, but I started developing more of my acting skills, and that actually really helped me evolve as a person and really heal internal things that I had going on, because when you're acting, you're not really acting, you're just putting yourself in different situations, and how would you act in different situations. So that really caused me to like kind of break down some walls and be very vulnerable and allow myself to feel things that I was not feeling. And there was one specific day I remember, there was a sub in this class, and it was after a scene, and after you do your scenes, you have like a talk back with the teacher. So you do your scene with your partner, and then they sit there and they talk, and they're like, how was that for you? What did you feel like as a person? And you have to like have something to say.
Right.
And so this day,
like your character person or your
you
person?
as yourself in that character.
Yeah.
Like how
what
did
that
you
do
feel?
for you?
Yeah, exactly. So they forced you to kind of look inside yourself. And this particular day, it was a sub, and the scene that I had to do that day was I had to say, I love you and I hate you, but it was like a domestic situation in the scene, and we were like having a fight, and I was like trying to be like, I love you and be vulnerable about it, but then at the same time but then also like I hated you. And she noticed that it was much easier for me to say the anger part was much easier for me than the vulnerable, gentle, like I love you. She was like, why is that? And she asked me that, and all of a sudden I just broke down in tears. Wow. I don't even know what happened. So I'm sitting in front of the class, I'm in tears, crying, and then she makes me make eye contact with everyone in the room while I'm crying. She says, look around, I want you to look at every single person in the eyes in this room. And she's like, and understand we're holding space for you. And then she starts going in about how I've created this block over my life that had kept me safe for a really long time, but it's not serving me anymore. And how it was so easy for me to be angry because that was coming from the block that I had. And if I just started tearing it down, that I would be able to penetrate and like feel the softer, vulnerable, more loving. So that's really started a whole journey for me.
Acting class.
That's what I'm saying.
Sub-angel.
That's what I'm saying. For real. So I was like, whoa. So then that kind of kicked off a couple years of just really learning about myself, working on myself, getting deeper with my emotions. And all of that kind of plays into dance as well. So then that kind of made me a stronger, more powerful, confident dancer, because now I've gone through these like internal issues that I had. So all these things really just kind of came together. And then I actually worked with a singing coach there who kind of had the same experience with her. She was like, your voice tells everything that's going on inside of you, because it's coming from your solar plexus, right. And it's all your chakras need to be aligned. And so if your voice is shaky or if your breath isn't right, it's like, why? Where's that coming from? Like everything was deeper. So all these teachers, I don't know, it's just over life.
I'm learning that about health, side note.
Yes,
going,
really. It's true. And so anyway, so all of that just kind of helped me be like, okay, so this is what I'm doing. So this is why I'm really passionate about working with kids and kind of just bringing dance to kids, but also adults. I love working with adults too, because dance just brings joy out of people, and I've seen it change lives. I've literally seen people like find their confidence and just overcome things because I feel like dance, it's mind, body, soul. You kind of have to connect all the things when you're doing it, and you can just kind of find that real authenticity and joy. And so
it sparks something too. There's like endorphins and things. Like, it's weird that we've gotten kind of conditioned out of like moving around and dancing and smiling, because those things really create like a level of happiness.
It's true.
So like I don't like dance by myself in my apartment sometimes randomly all wild, but when I don't, I'm in a really, really good mood.
Right. For real. It is. I always say the best dancer in the room too is the one that doesn't care. That gives no F's, because they're the ones that's just free and like they're having the most fun. That's the person I want to dance with.
Except that brother at the club that used to had to clear like a 20-foot circle, and he would walk in and he was the only person who was sober. He didn't drink, he didn't smoke, he didn't talk to the girls. He walked in and like just started doing crazy dance routines in the middle of the dance floor. God bless that.
Like, you might get kicked in the face.
He might get kicked in the face, and you're not gonna be mad at him too, because he did like some acrobatic Michael Jackson thing.
You're impressed. That's right. That's word.
Okay, now you've done this since you were a kid. Do you remember your first performance?
Of
anything?
I do. Well, I remember my very first performance at like 3 was the song "Baby Take a Bow," and I was in a pink tutu with polka dots. And I think my mom had gave me these little mermaid earrings I was wearing. And I remember too, because the performance, because I've watched it back since then, and it's funny. Everybody's like doing the stuff, and then half the girls were like, you know, they just stand there because they're 3. They're like, I don't know what to do. And I'm over there like, we do this. Excuse me, you need to come over here in this arm. Like, let me show these girls what's up. So yeah, I do remember I had a little
So
pink
you didn't
tutus.
play the flower.
I was not the flower. No, I was like, you need to get it together. We have an audience. That was probably my first like official performance on stage in front of people.
What was your first professional opportunity?
My first professional opportunity was dance-wise. That was probably, I mean, I did stuff here in Denver before I moved to LA. Like I did a little like Taco Bell commercial, and I think there was like a First Bank commercial in there somewhere. But that was just like kid stuff where you were just in the background playing. My first professional job was probably, I feel like I did do one here, but it was probably in LA. And that was, let me see, what was it? Dang, it's been a minute now. It was a play. It was like a little black box theater play. And it was, we were superheroes. And I can't remember my character's name. It was called Wonder Women, and all the women were like different superheroes. And then there was this guy called Mr. Miraculous, and he was trying to mess shit up. But anyways, I can't remember. I was like the vixen in this thing. I think I don't know. I was
Did you have a superpower?
I did. I can't
it?
remember what my superpower was though. But it was a fun show. But that was like a little black box theater I did. That was like right around the corner from my apartment when I moved to LA. But that was fun actually. I don't even remember what my role was. Kevin probably would remember if I asked him. Yeah, but that wasn't even dancing. I didn't even dance in that. That was just acting.
Performance nonetheless.
Yeah.
Which should definitely prepare you for this next portion of the show. I don't know why, but this just seems right. It's time for everybody's favorite train wreck, free time. During free time, our guest chooses from the following options. We can freestyle rap to a randomly chosen topic. We can perform a skit to a randomly chosen topic, or we could give you some rapid fire questions. Option 4 is a guest choice. That means if you got something that you would like me to participate in, I cannot say no.
Oh.
So of all those, pick your poison.
Okay, I'm picking 2.
2.
I say freestyle rap to a randomly chosen topic, and then guest choice is I'm gonna make you dance at some point.
And so, okay, she's doing a twofer. That's like illegal, but it's cool.
I can do that.
You can do that though. All right, bet. So we pick one. We're gonna freestyle rap to a randomly chosen topic. Then at some point in all this, you will see my dangerous moves.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. All right. I don't understand how I get myself in.
I don't even know why I did that either.
I really don't.
Undercover rapper.
And you guys pick this stuff and make art for me. Oh man, a love letter to Denver. All right. So I guess we don't need this. What do I do? Huh. Welcome to the town. Welcome back to Denver. You might just find me in the day was born in cold September. Everybody wants to remember when the day's November. Then comes December. Here's the Christmas. Now let's get the gift. The gift of those days, the mountains that you see on. Everybody wants to come from out of town and ski on. You might get to tripping, but everybody's worried about. Go downtown, hit Market Street and see what they talking about. It's just the worry that nobody's gonna stress. I've been doing this from the west to the east, and I'm the best. I give it up for the Rocky. I give it up for the girls. Sometimes they get little mops and they up for the. I did it, and then I pass it on back to the world. You wanted to give it, now we heard from every back to the swirl. I'm gonna flip it, flop it, then get to the crib. I might just have to stop it, but here goes my girl when she lives.
Hey Denver, what's up? I'm here to represent. You know I'm over here on the hub. What's up? I don't know what I'm talking about, but I love my city from Denver, cause that's what I'm about. We up in here sitting in the sun. I don't know why, cause it's so much fun, but it's hot as hell. But that's what, it's gonna rain, then it's gonna get cool. It might even snow tomorrow. We don't even know, but we gonna be here to catch this flow. We walking through the streets, we driving and cool. We We going to school and we hanging at the pool. What's up, Summer? I'm here to say I'm here for a good time, but not a long time. I'll always be back because it's where I'm from. My family's here and it's always number one.
We went from winter, spring to summer, back to the fall. We got them all in one day, then hit that last call. When everybody that I know used to be broke, now we ball. We're standing tall, we give it up. It's on the hub, it's for y'all.
Hey.
There it is, you know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Welcome to the town, welcome to the hub. It's going down.
303.
Always another free time. Well, that wasn't so bad, was it?
No, I'm actually like, I got bars now. I'm like, I got more to say.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? There may be a round two, like a whole nother re-record. You know what I'm saying? The album coming out soon.
We're going into the studio.
B&B.
Soon. That's B&B.
B&B.
That's what's
Be
up.
Inspired by B&B.
Hey.
Rep that ish.
B&B Virgo things.
All right. So you've accomplished a lot professionally. But one thing that really stood out to me was your commitment to serving others. Let's talk about B Inspired D.A.N.C.E Foundation. This tells me that it's something much bigger than just performing. What is it about helping children and about pursuing this that's so important to you?
Well, the D.A.N.C.E and B Inspired D.A.N.C.E Foundation is an acronym that stands for Developing Awareness, Nurturing Character, and Emotional Intelligence. So it is way more about than performing, but performing is definitely an element of it. It's really just because I feel like people in general, but especially kids, especially this day and age with the pandemic, with social media, just the state of the world that we're in, all the crazy stuff that's going on, is kids they're not really taught about their emotions, about what they are, how to deal with them, where they come from, and how that can really kind of compound as you get older if you're not healing and working through them. And just again, through my own journey, I realized how aligned dance is as part of that, because when you're dancing, you want to be vulnerable, you want to get in touch with your feelings so that you can express, so that you can tell a story, or that so you can just release and let it be therapeutic to you. It teaches you kind of how to show up with confidence as a person, and that's where the performing really comes in, because you kind of have to just put yourself in front of people, not really worry about what they're thinking about you, and just do your thing and have fun. And it really just, every time you do it, it just helps to build confidence. So I really I've been working with kids for a long time, but I really wanted to create my own thing where I had more control and I could really invest the time and energy that I want without limits or other people's like guidelines and procedures. Because what I really wanted to do is, I'm starting with kids in elementary school, and I go into the schools. So in LA, I should say this. In LA, which is crazy, the public schools don't have funding for arts or sports. Period. The public schools. So they don't have any sports teams, they don't have arts classes, dance, music, like none of that. They just don't have funding for it, which is crazy. So I that blew my mind, because I grew up with, obviously we grew up with that out here. Yeah. So I was like, definitely, I mean, all kids need it, but especially these kids that aren't even having access to it in schools. So I go into the schools and I just teach regular dance classes, and I'm not trying to make these kids professional dancers. Maybe there's a few people in the class that this is something they want to do, or they want to go into entertaining, and then those kids, you know who those kids are, and you can kind of help nurture them. Right. But really, it's just giving these kids an outlet to express themselves, to find themselves, to learn about how, working with a team. If, I put kids in groups and I'll make them work together as a team, and, just working with other people, a lot of things come out. And so there's a lot of teachable moments of just, you got to listen to your partner. You got to both, have great ideas. Nobody has a bad idea. If you have an idea and you think it sucks, let's figure out how we can make it. Yeah, exactly. You just it's just part of a collaborative effort. So I really just developed it to try to help kids learn more about themselves, their emotions, because I really believe if we all had more intelligence around our own emotions, that mental health would be less of a struggle for people. Because I think, when you're not healing stuff and you're not dealing with your emotions, I feel like it just keeps building blocks, and it just breaks everything down, and life just becomes a lot harder than when you can just allow things to penetrate you, deal with it, accept it, take lessons from it, and then use that to go forward. So
that's an interesting angle. That's not where I would have thought you went with it. And I mean, from my own experience, I just I just know so many things that I was comfortable with. My level of normal is different, and I didn't realize that except through like sports and times when I'd be around other people. You know, you're in group settings, you're around different people doing different things, and I made a comment the other day. I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. I'm cool with all that going on. It's PTSD. And I was telling the truth though. I'm like, no, because like, you know, every gunshot's going off in the back and it doesn't bother me. So what to you is a red line, and what scares you doesn't scare me. But until you realize that, you don't get to grow.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly
you kind of get stunted. And as talented as you are, or as many gifts as you might have, you may never get the chance to realize them because you keep kind of running into that stumbling block.
That's it.
Of something that you didn't really have any part in creating, but you can't help.
Yeah. And it's like, you don't, it's like there's a level of acceptance you want to get to, like, yes, this happened to me in my life, this is part of my story, but it's not, it doesn't have to be part of who you are. Like, that doesn't have to make, it's like,
not the end of the
exactly
story.
It's not the end of the story.
Right.
It's part of your story, and then you learn from it and say, okay, well, what can we do, you know, from here? And, you know, and a lot of times too, like, I'll teach choreography to kids or somebody sometime, and they'll just automatically look at it and be like, oh, it's too hard, I can't do it. And I always tell them in my class, you can't say the word can't in my class, or I make them do push-ups or something. Because to me, when you immediately say can't without trying, you're already giving up on yourself.
Right.
And when you try it, most of the time, you're like, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So it's like kind of saying yes first, and then being like, okay, maybe you don't love it, you don't have to like everything that you try, but I bet you could do most things you try if you just tried it without like talking yourself out of it. And I think a lot of that is just in life, pursuing, you know, things that you want to do or whatever. It's like you kind of just have the courage to go for it, you know, have the fear, but you have to have a good relationship with fear where you understand what it is and why it's there, but it's not keeping you from the thing. It's
not
like
crippling you.
Exactly. It's like, okay, I see you, you're trying to let me know this is something a little scary, but that probably means I should go ahead and do it anyway, because unknown things are always scary. So a lot of these things are like teachings that I incorporate in my classes, especially with kids, but adults too, because adults, you know, have lived a lot of life and haven't really had these experiences either to really learn about themselves. But I like to start working with kids, because especially elementary school, because life hasn't really gotten to kids yet in elementary school, so they're not really worried about looking perfect or being judged. They're just down to try stuff and go for it. And then so my thing is to kind of grow with them, because I would love to be able to grow with kids over a period of time, which is why I started my foundation, so that I could actually be a part of their Exactly.
A hit thing
exactly.
for a few months,
and then I never
see him again.
That's exactly it. I want to be part of ongoing, just to help them grow, and also I would love to be able to like offer scholarships for them to do the thing, and you know, also for them to just pay it forward, and the things that they learn, you know, they're passing it off to their families or friends or, you know, whatever it is. So it's bigger than dance, but dance is a huge part of just all of it.
What would be your ultimate vision for Be Inspired?
I would love to travel and take it across the country, this where there's need, but I would really love to go to Africa and maybe, you know, introduce some of these things here with some of the schools there and the kids there. I would really love to take it abroad and do some work, and just scale it. I would love to have more people join me and do what I do, learn about what I'm doing. I would just love to spread it as much as possible, because there's so many kids I think that would really benefit from it, and who knows, and just see where it goes from there. I mean, you know, sky's the limit of things that I probably haven't even thought of that it could turn into. So yeah.
Have you had any neat success stories
from the foundation?
Or not even the foundation, just in your experience with mentoring and being around kids and people?
Yes, I have. I've literally seen it change a few people's lives, but specifically I have one girl, and her name's Shayna. I'm gonna call her out because she's cool and she don't mind. Hey Shayna. But she came to me, honestly, she just always wanted to dance, but she never did, and she, you know, went through like stunts of rehab and was in and out of rehabs and stuff, and finally something in her said, I've always wanted to learn how to dance, I'm just gonna do it and show up. So she kind of came to me, was recommended to me from someone else, and we started working privately. And the very first time, like first few times I met with her, she was like barely dancing, she could barely look at herself in the mirror, she was like, you know, she just couldn't like get with it. And then over time, just kind of working with her and just like look at yourself in the mirror, look how you're dancing, like let it go, let all this stuff go, just do what you do. And over time she really like just came into herself. She became so much more confident, to the point now she was like, I would never take a dance class and dance in front of other people, like I would never. And now she be taking all these classes, learning all this choreography, posting videos of herself. I mean, I've literally, and she tells me this all the time, and she will tell anybody that asks, but I saved her life. She will tell me I saved her life, because she was going down a pretty rough path where she was like not feeling like this is what she wanted to do, but somehow through working with me and finding that and aligning her love with dance and who she was, it was like it just gave her a renewed sense of life and a vision on herself. And she was in her younger 20s when I met her, and I mean she's like thriving now, and then she just has tools now to like, yeah, life is still hard, but she's just got more tools and more like she's doing something for her that gives her joy, and it's like an outlet for her. So yes, I've actually seen it like really save people's lives, and I think that just motivates me even more, because it's just so powerful. And I don't know, I just want to impact as many people as I can to be their best selves, live their best life. That's what it's about.
And you've done so well so far at living the best life. You've worn a bunch of hats: performer, choreographer, instructor, nonprofit leader, entrepreneur, the list goes on. What role has stretched you the most, or been the most maybe challenging or rewarding? That's like 3 different questions.
I mean, I would say choreography has probably stretched me the most. Like having a regular class slots where people are coming to my class and they want new choreography all the time kind of stretches my creative brain, because it keeps me like in the creative office, like where my brain's always working or I'm always thinking of stuff. So it's kind of helped keep my creative juices flowing. So I think just having like a regular ongoing thing of like, I need to choreograph something for these people because they want something new every time, that has definitely helped me like just keep practicing my craft. And the more I do it, the better I get at it. I would say the most fulfilling has been teaching kids, and even before I moved to LA, I was coaching back at my where I went to high school at Overland. I was coaching the girls there, and just that experience, that was like the first time I really noticed like, wow, these girls, like they really pay attention to what I'm saying, what I'm doing, and that's where I really realized like the influence that I have and how important like being a role model was to me. And just seeing like just what they were getting from me was very inspiring to me, very fulfilling, because I was like, wow, I'm really like filling these girls' cups. That's pretty cool. And seeing them evolve and become like amazing young women. So I think teaching, and especially the younger kids, especially with everything that's going on in the world with like ICE and immigration. I mean, I work in the schools in these areas where ICE has been, and I've had kids come up to me and say, you know, like, I'm not going to see my mom when I get home today because she's, you know, being deported, and I don't know when I'm going to see her again. And this is like a 7 or 9-year-old girl. Right. So it's like, but to be there with them and, you know, be like, yeah, this is really hard, but, you know, like, how can you could write your mom a letter and, you know, make sure, you know, or, you know, maybe you send her, you still gonna love her, you know, it's just trying to
give
help
them something to get through it, and instead of because that's where the stuff starts, where the hard stuff starts in life, where it's like, you don't know what's happening, you can't make sense of it, your parent's gone, and now what? It's like, so instead of letting that destroy you, it's like, okay, and it doesn't even make sense to you as a kid, you don't even know why this is happening, but it's like, how can I just stay with myself, be true to myself, and still, you know, be the best that I can be, even though I'm going through some really hard stuff. So I think working with kids especially has been the most fulfilling, because I see, and also too, like, I can see kids, like, there will be a kid in class and he'll be like all to himself, and all of a sudden he'll come to class and he'll be excited to come and he'll be dancing and like, let me show you these moves, and his teacher will be like, he is not like that normally in class, he's very subdued, he doesn't even talk half the time, but when they come to my class, they just are like their whole themselves, and
they
it's
just
super universal, like
that.
Like you said, it's one, I mean, insert the kid's situation here. You know what I mean? Whether it's a childhood issue at home, whether it's a parent not in the house, whether it's an alcoholic, whether it's this, whether it's that, like, to have a place where you can just figure something else out and do something different to kind of not keep your mind off it, because life doesn't stop happening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But to have something else to focus on and to, you know, get something out of is super important.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of go back because you talk about the youth and the things like that a lot, and earlier we talked about how you kind of, you didn't exactly get what you expected when you went for what you are. And I understand that. Like, I think it goes a lot with sports, different things. Like, you hit a point, you're like, okay, I could maybe play some college ball. I'll never make it to the league. I'm too small, but I could do this, I could do that. Oh, I'll never be a rapper, but maybe I could do this and find a way to be entertaining and find a way to get to people and tell stories or this. Like, and you just find it. Like, that's what I did.
Yeah.
That was my path to trying to figure out how to get around things. What advice do you give? Like, I say embrace the suck. Because every time I try something new, like, there's that first 2 or 3 times when you're not going to be good at it, and you need to just be cool with that and keep practicing and realize if it's for you or not. But you never figure that out without trying, so you got to embrace the suck.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what advice do you give people that have been discouraged or they have doubts about pursuing something, whether it be dance or whatever? What would you tell that person, little you, to keep going?
I would say always be a student. Like, never stop learning new stuff, even if it's a genre or something that you know about. There's always levels you can take it. So I would say always be a student, be ready to learn. There's always something to learn, stay open-minded. And also, you just have to kind of take the step. Like, you can think of all these big things you want to do. Don't worry about the end result. Just make one little move. One little step, and then doing one more little step. And every day, if you just keep doing little stuff, I feel like the universe sees what you're doing.
Why drive a car? Cause it's foreign, that ain't my type of language. That chick's my wife, not some peasant that I just call my main bitch. Something I learned from ancestors of mine who came on slave ships. Master don't suck you until you drive and dump you in a ditch. The best defense is to stay spry and infiltrate the host. Then play offense once you're inside, that's how you do the most. Miseducation's a disease, it must be treated so by the revolutionaries who make the conscience grow. It may have been a mistake to grab the mic again. I'm finally facing my demons and feeling right again. No lie, embracing the truth about who I really am. Let's never let mediocrity rule our life again.